Okay. Welcome, judges, teachers, and fellow classmates. We are Team S Energy, and today we will talk about a sustainable, symbiosis, synergy-driven ecosystem approach for clean energy access. Our team is myself from Japan, Jean from the Philippines, Kuriawan from Indonesia, and Tanmay from India. Next slide, please. The challenge we chose to address is to ensure that every household in our community is powered by renewable energy by 2025. We will start with a story about clean energy access. We will hear from voices from the energy industry. We will propose our solution, S Energy. We will share our expected outcomes, challenges, and desired impact. And finally, we will conclude with why us. Why us for this challenge, and why us for building this solution. Next slide, please. We chose clean energy because 940 million people around the world still do not have access to electricity. That's about 13% of the world's population. Energy access strongly relates to income. Poor and rural households are more likely to lack energy access. So I want everyone to picture this. I'm a young single mother living in a rural community in a small island in the Philippines. Many households, like mine, rely on polluting energy sources like firewood and kerosene for daily cooking needs. We are exposed to indoor pollutants and its harmful effects on our health. And my father runs a small shop selling daily needs because of his inconsistent electricity. Some of his goods that he sells in his shop, like milk, spoils because refrigeration is not consistent. The problem that we've identified is that people have unreliable energy access and are dependent on fossil fuel-based energies and have an overall lack of awareness about clean energy ecosystems. So what we propose is the figure you see on your right side, which is an ecosystem approach to clean technology. We want to make it easier for people to adopt energy efficient products and solutions that address climate change. Next slide, please. To empathize more deeply with our why, we reached out to our network and asked leaders in the clean energy ecosystems on their perspectives, what they thought were the issues and concerns. What we've gathered from 5 interviews is what you see on this slide, a summary of our main findings, which is that the problem remains that power supply remains unreliable and fluctuating. The cost remains relatively unaffordable for many, and many people have little knowledge on alternative, and some are hesitant to try new technologies. To address this issue on energy, we propose solutions that are wide-ranging, from introducing renewable energy and integrating hybrid energy sources to providing green jobs, secure access to finance and incentives to further attract investors, and to address gap on knowledge by capacity building towards improved standards of living. Next slide, please. Next up is our solution.
S Energy breaks the centralization of the energy ecosystem and brings together diverse stakeholders on a common platform and gives the power to the end user to determine their energy future. Next slide, please. Our prototype is an application which will be available for free and accessible across mobile and web platforms. We want the adoption to be self-sustaining, and hence our application development will be based on local languages. Next slide, please. The application works on 3 key dimensions. Number 1, it will enable the end user to learn about the clean energy from our catalog of courses available in local languages, creating an ecosystem of skill development and job empowerment. Second, it will help the users to estimate their energy demand and recommend clean energy solutions most applicable to their location and the community. And the third, it will help the users to determine the feasibility of their project, including both technical feasibility and the commercial feasibility to better access the markets. Next up, with this application, the timeline that we propose is the prototype could be developed in some 6 months, moving on to the minimum viable product, developing more functionalities on it in another 6 months, moving on to the launch stage in the 3 months for a total of 15 months timeline. Next up is the core strategy behind S Energy.
So to operationalize the prototype, our key strategies includes awareness, accessibility, acceptability, and adaptability. We shall initially consider and address the gaps on knowledge to provide more communities more options to have affordable and reliable energy for their domestic and commercial uses. So as communities acknowledge this alternative and clean sources, we make sure that these are accessible, and that is through ensuring finance and technology. We note the importance of community ownership and acceptability. So we ensure consideration of various stakeholders and population, including the youth, as well as gender considerations. This would include skills development and making them aware of the benefit they can reap from the project. Last is adaptability. We hope that communities would learn from it, enhance the model based on evidence-based experiences, and even share the learnings with others. The community may serve as the pioneer, which shall influence other communities to transition to clean energy. By encouraging others to replicate the project on their own, we can then foresee the project's sustainability. The next part would be on the challenges, outcomes, and impacts of the project.
From the strategy driven to develop community, we know we have to act to achieve significant and visible progress, which is turn translate real cost saving. We hope this project will be really productive, provide more common understanding that eventually makes multi-stakeholders do the right things for our local communities, which have energy resilient, have access to clean energy and better economic opportunities by 2025. We do an analysis challenges, outcomes, and impacts with some points below. In conclusion for this slide, we also hope three things. First of all, that we raise the awareness around the importance of renewable energy access as climate change action. Secondly, that we can share good examples or outcomes to across multi-stakeholders. And thirdly, that we build a strong commitment around this impact prototype project.
So, towards the end, why us for developing the S Energy platform, and why us for solving the energy problems? We are a diverse team coming from four culturally diverse parts of the world. But that's not all. What we bring is this diverse collaboration of different functionalities which are important to develop a project. We bring strategy, entrepreneurship, finance, and quality assurance and skill development all in one project, which makes us one of the best teams to work on this project. With this, we thank you for listening to us and hope that you will believe in our story and the vision of a new energy future. Thank you for your time.